Good afternoon and welcome aboard to the Veterans Day or the November Day of the Teachers Lounge. She is, of course, the boss. She tells you what to do. I am the bell. I tell you when to do it. She is Stacy Boss. She is licensed speech professional. I, of course, well, I am substitute professional Winston Bell. And this is the Teachers Lounge.
Happy Veterans Day.
Saluting those who, of course, keep us safe in our armed forces.
And don't forget, you can
Smoke in here. Yes, you can. All right, boss, I'm smoking already because I got a lot to get to. Couple of things I want to talk about. One, I want to talk about appropriate dress in Zoom calls. I'll get to that in a moment. I also want to talk about the fact that, one, boss, why are people still struggling with the fact that in an e-learning environment, I'm emailing you your report card? Is this a hard thing to grasp? How do they think I'm going to get it?
Right. I don't get that either.
So you want me to mail you a report card so you can see it? I know you want to put Ronnie's report card because he got all, is it still E's, S's, and U's? Am I showing my age by doing boss? Is it excellent, satisfactory, and unsatisfactory? Or?
Hey, I'm just a speech therapist. I don't do report cards.
No names, please. Is it still E, S, and U that you give? Do you have to sign the back of it? Is it going to be given in a? I think that was an autumn amber envelope that I used to get them in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was back in the 70s. Don't try to do the math. I've got that to talk about, and also, it's the profession of the day. Profession of the day.
Like I said, it's my favorite part of the show.
All right, boss. And the third segment of the show, the segment that I like the most, it's the licensed tip from the licensed speech pathologist, speech professional, boss. But again, I have to make this disclaimer. The lawyers are telling me to do this, boss. That advice cannot be used or given in any arbitration and cannot be taken as valid or used against any position of the Teachers Lounge. Have to say it's just advice if we were having it over coffee.
Oh, is it really your favorite part of the show?
Oh, boss, you know
I didn't know that.
Oh, boss, don't look at me like that. Enough. Let's get right back into my topics. 3 ways to mention us. I'll let you participate. Even more of Boss and I is a good thing. Sometimes less participation is better, just like less students in the lounge is better.
Yes. How about 0 students in the lounge?
Close the door. Don't use the pop machine.
Padlock it.
All right. We will have to because you can smoke in here. Allegedly. There are 3 ways you can reach out and contact us. Those are 3 ways. Write these down. 1, traditional. I'm an old school guy, as people like to call me basic. You can dial in 216-260-3909. Or if you're really fancy, you can Gmail us. The Teachers Lounge 721. The Teachers Lounge 721 at gmail.com. Or if you're all 2000 and fancy, like 2000 and Nancy, boss, that's you. You can go to the Teachers Lounge 721.com. That's the website. You can hit us on all 3 of those. And wait, we do await your comments.
Yeah, if you go to the website, you can subscribe. You can give us a little question through the chat box there. You can go to our forums and join in with the discussions that we posted and the questions that we posted. We'd love to hear from you.
And I have to tell you, boss is looking at me with the teacher eye. Eventually, Facebook. All right. Boss, I don't want to jump into that. That's too much, but go on.
It's all coming. All
right.
Facebook page, Instagram page, the whole bit.
Boss, can't they just write us a snail mail? Don't we have an address? I mean, pen and paper. Can Charlie Brown write me a letter during Thanksgiving? Oh, wait, he can't because he's on Apple TV now.
No letters, please.
I'm just saying, I want to get letters. All right, let's hop into it. I've got my shorts on.
You're wearing shorts in Cleveland in November?
Boss, it's always 72 degrees in the Teachers Lounge. I have to go on vacation somewhere.
Guys, he's really in shorts right now.
They're khaki shorts, Boss. They match everything. It's uniform shorts. Just saying.
And sandals.
Hey. Toes out, mind in, okay? Let's get to it. I'll talk about that for appropriate dress in the Zoom call. I understand that, we're in different times. It's a pandemic. You want to have pajama pants underneath while you're wearing a shirt? Fine. You want to maybe have some comfortable shoes on. I get it.
You might want to look good on top, but who cares about the bottoms?
Yes, boss, but I don't need to be having people dressed as Iron Man.
What?
Batman.
Huh?
Bumblebee.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. And for the ladies, Wonder Woman.
Come on.
And these are the parents. That's what I'm talking about. You can dress your kid as Bumblebee if you want to be Optimus Prime. That's in your own time. But during school time, during school hours, which are 8 to 3, I need you to at least dress appropriately. I don't need to see dads walking around in Iron Man or Captain America t-shirts. I don't, boss. I don't want to see mom with a Wonder Woman headband on giving people Pop-Tarts. I don't need to see that. If the kids are dressed, why aren't you? Boss, explain this to me.
Well, wait. The kids aren't necessarily dressed. Did you have someone in a costume?
Yes, I did have Bumblebee, and I also had Robin the Boy Wonder joining my class this week.
Gosh.
Yeah. The ward of Batman, the Boy Wonder, and Bumblebee. I just think it's a distraction, boss.
It's a distraction for sure.
You want to have them create the same school environment at home that they would normally.
If you wouldn't send them in a costume to school, you're not going to have them in a costume for online learning.
Just saying, maybe some kids might want to be in a costume. Allegedly. I weigh in here, and maybe this is a question for people to weigh in at the Teachers Lounge 721.com. Maybe you want to lay in. Do you want your kids to come into school dressed the same way they are? Are you doing the same routines that you're having at home? Are they coming in a uniform or not? Let us know at the Teachers Lounge, or if you want to sound off, feel free. Yes, boss, I'll give them the number. You can call 216-260-3909. And of course, it's my segment, or the segment that always winds up number 3. It's Professional of the Day. And in order to honor our veterans, I think it would be appropriate to find out what's happening when people see a veteran out today. Yeah, hold on, young lady. I see you scratching your eyebrow. That must mean you're saluting a veteran.
Actually, I was just scratching my eyebrow.
At ease, young lady, as you were. I know that you're saluting a veteran because you recognize that I was in Korea.
Well, I did see the hat.
That's right.
So I do want to say thank you for your service, but, I'm
You're
trying to
welcome, young lady.
get some groceries and go home.
Well, young lady, let me tell you about Korea. There were no groceries there. I was on reconnaissance training back in 1959.
Oh.
That was back there when the United States was making shoes in the Korean factory, and I was the supervisor for every individual size 7 shoe, make, and model that left the Korea.
Sounds pretty impressive.
Ho Chi Minh City is what they called it. That was actually Vietnam, but it was Korea. Seoul is where I was. Just like the bottom of the shoe. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was there making them shoes and inspecting them. One, left shoe, right shoe, left shoe. Hold on, young lady, I'm not done yet. Left shoe, right shoe at a time. I did that for 18 months before I got discharged with a bruised eyelash. Blinked too hard.
This is so interesting, sir, but I really have to get to go shopping.
Well, young lady, every time you see a veteran, or you wear a left shoe, or a right shoe, it don't matter. Thank a veteran for their service. At ease!
I will.
All right, you've gotten, of course, to my favorite segment, Boss. It's the boss sauce of the segment, as I like to call it. Boss, this is the SLP, or the Related Service Provider moment of the show.
I'm ready for it.
All right, let me read you the email that, of course, I received at the Teachers Lounge 721@gmail.
Okay.
If you'd like to send these cards or like to send these emails in, please continue to do so. But this one, boss, it revolves around the question of dialect. And before I get started, dialect, dial tone?
Well, yes, I could talk a little bit about dialect. We have your standard American English dialect, which you might hear on the news.
Sure, that's...
And then everything outside of that is a dialect of standard American English.
So,
you have a dialect,
yes.
I have a dialect.
So if I'm in LA and I say bro or dude, if I'm in Atlanta and I say y'all,
that's perfectly okay when you're speaking with your friends.
Sure.
But as far as like written schoolwork, the teachers are being paid to teach standard American English writing.
So the English I hear in the hallway is different than the English I hear in the classroom.
Correct.
Okay. I think I got it. So...
And let me add this.
Please.
We always have to remember there's no dialect that is superior or inferior to another dialect.
Of course, I'm getting a text message from the lawyers that inform me that information given on the Teacher's Lounge cannot be used as binding arbitration and is also not a substitute for consulting with a legal professional. That's the disclosure.
That's correct.
I have to get that in. The lawyers are texting me. Allegedly. All right, boss. Let me get back to the question. The question centers around dialect. Of course, we get an email at the Teacher's Lounge 721 at Gmail. This one from Charlotte. She's a teacher who asked, boss, why won't my building SLP work to correct the dialect that my student uses in class?
Well, for one, it would be unethical for us to change a student's dialect because there is no inferior or superior dialect.
I see you searching for the correct verbiage, boss. No one inferior or superior dialect.
Correct. And everybody has a dialect. So
Sure.
I might say, hey, Belle, I'm going to go to the store. Gonna. Okay? That's not your standard American English right there.
You don't say going to.
Standard would be, I will go to the store. What do you say? Or what do some people say?
I'm on my way to the store.
I'm on my way to the store.
I'm a.
That's not standard. That's a dialect.
Let me ask you this, boss, and let me go off menu for a minute. Is this the difference in how people text and how people talk? Because I think that there's a correlation in how people... A lot of things I put in a text message, I may not speak directly.
People are definitely more casual in text messages. You wouldn't write a school paper the way you text, would you?
You're absolutely correct.
Teachers are paid to teach students to write in standard American English, but as far as speaking to their friends, that there's just no way an SLP would correct a dialect. But in the classroom, they're exposed to standard American English, so students should pick up on the fact that the way you speak to a president or a queen or a teacher or your parent is different than you're going to talk to your friend.
If I'm in England, I'd be speaking to the Queen, but of course she may not speak back to me. If I'm speaking to the president, I may be all aglow, so I might not be able to speak correctly. But so, what happens between students? Do they talk differently to each other in class that you teach?
No, if they're talking amongst themselves, they're probably going to speak in their dialect. I will say that there's an exception to this rule.
Sure.
I did have an adult from Russia who wanted me to modify his Russian accent to sound more American. Now, in that case, it's not unethical because we have an adult asking, hey, I want you to change my dialect, my way of speaking, so I sound more American.
Now, let me ask you this, and I know I bug you with the speech questions because you're the professional, boss. I'm the substitute professional. I stand in for a professional when I'm not here. Boss, something like that sounds expensive. It sounds like it would cost me a lot of money if I wanted to have someone who was maybe from Cuba or maybe from Switzerland who wanted to speak with a less, I don't know how to say
foreigner accent?
Correct. I'm going to say you'd bill out, boss, $250, $150 an hour.
I'm not really sure because I'm not in private practice, but I have heard of some insurance plans doing maybe like 20 sessions a year, and you have to pay the copay each time.
That is expensive, boss. And again, You get these. This is what I think that people don't realize, the value adds of SLPs. This is why text messages coming in already.
You couldn't turn your phone off during the show?
I'm sorry, boss. It was the teacher's lounge, allegedly. Either that or it was a barbershop. But I say that
your 4:30 haircut's coming up.
I have to look nice, boss. I'm sorry. Grooming is important. The point about it is, boss, being able to say that there's a value add to this, and urban school districts realizing that you have a related speech pathologist, a speech person who's dedicated to this for free, salary paid by the district, but not paid at an additional. It's a value add. I think that a lot of times people miss that. It's I think understated in the school district, that if I was somewhere else, Manhattan, Texas, I'd be paying for that.
Oh, well, thank you. I guess you did put that into perspective for me.
I'm all about the cost, or as the young people say, the Benjamins.
Thank you for listening to our Veterans Day podcast, and we will see you back here next week. Put your cigarettes out and get back to class. Planning period is over.